Hey guys, Nonco here. So I just reread my old Genesis arc theory that I wrote after the other universe was released. I thought it would be interesting to share with you guys, especially since it highlights how hard it is to predict the SMG4 series, and why all theories including all my own current ones could be incredibly wrong and should not be expected to be exactly what happens. So in this original theory I believed, and still believe now, that the stick figure from Zero's flashbacks was his avatar. However, since all I had to base Zero's appearance off at the time was this silhouette, I thought that he may have been some form of stick figure monster, based on the fact that his intercepting horns kinda looked like the head of a stick figure. Although we know for certain that SMG0 probably didn't have a partner SMG now, back then it was less clear, so I theorized that he may have had a partner SMG possibly called SMG-1, as the other SMGs have partners, and I even thought that the stick figure in the flashbacks could have been this SMG-1. As after all they did appear similar to when SMG4 and 3 were being damaged. I then correctly theorized that his home universe was destroyed, and similarly to now I also believed back then that the bolt of lightning that struck Zero was what made him a virus, although just like now I also had no clue about what exactly it was, guessing that it could have been another virus, which is still my first bet now. I then go on to talk about how SMG0 likely used to have a much smaller, regular body around the size of that stick figure, which I still believe today. Okay, now we get on to the good part. My awful drawings. So, I didn't actually believe Zero looked exactly like this, as obviously I'm bad at drawing and this was supposed to only be a very basic interpretation of what he could look like. I also correctly predict that he may look more hideous. But the fact that I thought he even slightly looked like this is hilarious. Okay, so moving on, I thought that Zero may have been converting Mario not into a new avatar, as that thought wouldn't come across to me just yet, but instead converting him into a new body for himself after losing the rest of his body in the old universe, which I thought explained why Mario was receiving Zero's memories, as he was turning into Zero. Obviously we now know he was probably converting Mario into his new avatar reflecting his old one, but I actually like this old theory I had. So one thing me and some other people didn't realize was that when Zero left SMG3's USB in his eye-drawn form, that was his entire arm. I believed that SMG0's arm was still inside SMG3's Guardian pod, and that when SMG0's USB arrived to the SMG4 universe, it would leave and try to break open his own USB in order to free the rest of his body. I did not know that the quarantine remains after the antivirus expires, and interestingly, I thought that SMG1 and 2 were dead, since I thought that if they were alive they would have left SMG3's USB, because, as I just mentioned, we didn't know the quarantine remained active even after the antivirus expires. So I thought that once Zero's USB arrived, the SMG4 gang would see it fall from the sky, and that they might go inside it and use it to see his backstory after his true form left the USB after being freed by the arm. Me and a lot of other people were expecting to learn of SMG0's backstory and the truth behind the SMGs and USBs in this arc, so it came as a surprise that we learned very little by the end of the arc, although I did not mind this, as it meant there was more to come. And leaving some mysteries in a story always makes it more interesting. So lastly, I thought the arc would culminate with Zero perhaps actually succeeding at killing Mario and destroying the SMG4 universe, since we did not know of his true intentions of creating his own universe, and that this would force the gang to leave the universe and seek help from real-life Luke and Kevin in a third Mario in real-life video. I still think this may eventually happen, since we know that the USBs are from real life and that real life Luke has a role in all of this. In real life, the gang would learn the truth of the USBs and with the help of Luke and Kevin, they would return to their universe and finally vanquish Zero. Interestingly, I did predict that a beloved character would die. Oh, I thought this would be SMG3 or even SMG4, since we had no way of knowing that Axel was going to become possessed and up to then he did not have a major role in the Genesis arc. Overall, I don't think it was too bad of a theory, but it got a lot wrong, as expected when trying to predict SMG4. After the college arc or whatever the next arc happens to be is fully released, I'll probably create another video similar to this one, where I discuss all my theories and see what I got right and what I got wrong. Make sure to like and subscribe, as well as follow me on Twitter.